Yeah, hello. Now you will do.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hi Ankit.
So,
Hello,
how
Ankit.
many of you know me? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Ayush Kumar Jha. And anyone?
No Ankit.
From which batch you are? From which batch you are?
I'm from first batch.
First batch. And others?
Me too, first batch.
Second.
First batch.
Do you know about Hacopitch?
Yeah, yes, Ankit.
Yeah.
I heard about that in Paradox 2022
Yeah.
recently, but
So
I
Hacopitch,
didn't attend it at that time.
yeah. So Hacopitch is one of the flagship event of Paradox 22, and I was the part of the Paradox 22 for the event Hacopitch. Actually, I am the event head of that event. Actually, the participants, Dominic Walter. I have heard that name in Hacopitch also. That's why I asked this question to you. So before starting today's session, just I want to know from which city, from which state you belongs. Can you please type in the comment? Hello, Patna. Great. Jaipur. Fast guys. Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Delhi, Chennai, Patna, Bahanga. And what is your educational background? From engineering, from commerce, medical, or anything? Okay, great. So you all are BTech students, right? 80% of students are BTech students. Okay. So any guess from where I am? From which city I am? Guys, you can also unmute yourself and talk to me. From where I am? From which city I belong? Any guess? Okay. So at the end, I will ask this question and then you have to answer. Okay. So you have to answer me from which city I belong. You just have to guess about the place where I belongs to. So how many of you are the familiar with the programming in any languages before this like hackathon or this tutorial? You can raise your hand as well. Like any experience of programming in any language. Okay, great. So like you have heard about like what is function, what is um methods, what is if else, what is switch statement, etc. Okay, so it will be easier for me to take today's session. So I have shared the link for the tutorial of 15 minutes. How many of you have gone through that video? Please comment. Okay. So what we will do, okay, first of all, yeah, first of all, what we will do, anyone who have watched that video, please unmute yourself and tell me the 2 points that you have learned from that video. Anyone can unmute. Yeah, Prithvik, you want to say something? Your voice is not audible. Sorry. Prithvik, your mic having some issue. Can you rejoin this meeting? Anyone else who wants to share 2 points that has been learned from that video?
Yeah, so can I proceed?
Yeah.
So first thing I learned was that the Arduino is not itself a microcontroller as it is claims to be. It has microcontroller as its component. Yeah, that I got from that video. And second thing was like it is very convenient to add some program in it because it doesn't need any other cable or things which were necessary for older models. Like this one works with USB, and you can do those things which are which were covered in the first session. Yeah, that's what I say.
So here, many of you will be having some doubts about what is microcontroller and what is like development board and what is Arduino, right? So, like, what is development board and what
Yes.
is microcontroller? So, like, we are humans, okay, and in our human body, we have our eyes, we have our tongues, we have our hand, and we have our feet, okay. So, when we have to open our eyes, when we have to close our eyes, when we talk to anyone, when we have to eat something, these decisions are done by only our brain. Okay, so brain is the central processing unit. Brain is the something that's control all these like natural sensors. You can say like our eyes is a natural sensor, our tongue is a natural sensor. So and you know about what is actuator, you know. So actually, there are two concepts: sensors and actuators. Sensors are something which sense the environment data, which sense about the what is going on the environment. Suppose, like in my room, temperature is too cold, temperature is too hot. So this temperature can be readden by which sensor? Temperature sensor. So sensor can be used for detecting the environment, any changes in the environment. And what is actuator? Actuator is something which is used to show the response, to do some work. Like suppose this is my hand, okay. So I am moving my hand. So this hand can be used for doing some work. Another example, you used your motorcycle. So in the motorcycle, there is a part which rotates the wheel. That part is called motor. You know about motor. What is motor? Motor is just an electrical device which rotates something in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction according to voltage we apply. So motor is an actuator. So what is actuator? Actuator is something which will do some operations, which will do some kind of things. This can be some mechanical, This can be some type of rotational work. So sensors and actuators are controlled by some kind of central processing unit in our human body. There is our brain which controls our sensor means our eyes, our tongue, and our brain. Our brain controls the actuator. Our actuator part means our hand, our leg. So when we have to use our eyes, when we have to use our actuator, this all is decided by which? Our brain. So in artificial robots, you know what is artificial robot? You know what is robot? Any definition of robot? Okay. So any automatic machine is said to be a robot. So robot is something which can automatically do their own work according to which we have programmed. Suppose uh, suppose you have a washing machine, okay, and in latest washing machine, what is happening? You just have to add the detergent and the water, okay. It will automatically wash the cloth as well as it will dry the cloth automatically. You don't have to take care of it. So what is happening behind this automatic washing machine? There is a central processing unit which controls the sensor and the actuators, okay. So like which type of sensors are used in automatic washing machine? So suppose your clothes are wet, so humidity sensors can be used, okay. So humidity sensors will detect then when cloth will be wet, when cloth will be drier. So accordingly they decide is your washing process is completed or not. So when you are going to build your robot, when you are going to build your automation product, there will be some kind of microprocessor, microcontroller which will be interacting with different sensors, different actuators, so that automations can be done accordingly. So suppose I am going to develop a project in which I have an ultrasonic sensor, okay, and what will ultrasonic sensor do? I think in the previous session by Manish, you know about what is ultrasonic sensor. Anyone say what is
Yes,
ultrasonic
hello.
sensor? Yeah,
Yeah, am I audible, Ankit?
yeah, you are audible.
Yes, ultrasonic sensor has two kind of components in it. One is the receiver and other is the transmitter.
What
And
is the use case of ultrasonic sensor? Why we
it
use
is
ultrasonic sensor?
it is used to find the distance between any obstacle.
Yeah. So suppose I am making a project using ultrasonic sensor in which I will detect the object, and suppose that particular object is closed by certain distance, suppose that distance is 40 centimeter, then I will get some kind of alarm from my device, okay. So this kind of device can be used in your vehicle. Suppose if another vehicle is just nearby you, then it will automatically apply the brake. It will show you a alert or alarm that you are going to be accident by someone, okay. So in that type of project, what will be the required components? So first you will be having some kind of sensor so that it can detect the nearest or the object which are going to be encountered to you. So we will be using ultrasonic sensor for this, because ultrasonic sensor can detect the distance between the ultrasonic sensor and the object, you know. Then sensor part is done. Then when suppose when any object is detected by ultrasonic sensor, then we have to raise a alarm. We have to apply a brake. For that, what we can use? For alarm purpose, we can use some kind of speaker, and for applying brake, we can use some kind of motors or like stepper motor, etc. So there is a part of sensor and there is a part of actuator. And for controlling this, we need some kind of central processing unit, some kind of chip that can control these two devices, okay, these two parts or these two components. Suppose what will be happening behind this? This is our ultrasonic sensor. So this ultrasonic sensor will continuously reading the environment, okay. So from where, like suppose if any time it has reached like some car is 40-meter away from you, then it will give the signal to the central processing unit. Then central processing unit will give command to the actuator, like hey man, it will say, our CPU will say to the actuator that hey man, 40-meter above, 40-meter next there is a car, please apply a brake. So in this way this automation will work. So in every automation there will be three role, there will be three component that will be going to be used. First one is sensor, second one is actuator, and third one is like central processing unit, or you can say microcontroller, okay. So what is microcontroller? Microcontroller is something that can interact with the sensor, actuator, and we can program accordingly that microcontroller, like in this way, such that when you have to interact with a sensor, when you have to take a decision so that actuator can start their working. So we have to program accordingly by our needs. So in this hackathon and like in this tutorial, what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the Arduino. So what is Arduino? Arduino is a development board. Okay. So what is development board? Development board is something where there will be some kind of microcontroller, there will be some kind of ICs, there will be some kind of integrations for charging, some kind of pins etc, so that the whole board can be worked as a development board. Development board means you don't have to bother about anything, you just have to code that development board, you just have to insert the sensors and actuator and then start the working. So this is the difference between development board and microprocessor, that is called microcontroller. So microcontroller is a teeny part, a smallest thing which is used just for taking a decision. And development board is just like a thing that will contain the microcontroller and other things that will support that microcontroller to perform accordingly. So what is Arduino? Arduino is a development board which uses Atmega 328P microcontroller. Okay. So like whenever anyone asks you a question, which microcontroller is used in Arduino board, Arduino development board. So what you will say, Atmega 328P is a microcontroller that is used in the development board by Arduino, and that Atmega 328P is developed by Intel company. Okay, so this is just a theory behind this automation. So what we have to do, we know how to use the sensor, we know how to use the actuator, and we know how to connect the sensor with the Arduino and how to connect the actuator with the Arduino. Just we have to learn how to program that Arduino so that it can interact with the sensor as well as the actuator, right? Any problem? Okay, so how many of you are familiar with C language, C or C++? Okay, because we are going to use Arduino's language, which is which is very similar to C and C++. That's why I have asked this question. Okay, and suppose if you are not familiar, then don't worry, you just have to remember some syntax. So all of you know Python, because Python is in our syllabus, I think. Okay. Okay, great. So can we start the coding part? So today, just I what I want to what I want to go, like I will be just going through the basics of Arduino and its programming. Okay, and after this tutorial, after this session, I will be sharing some links with you, some important tutorials related to how to integrate some kind of sensors with Arduino, different kind of sensors with Arduino. Then you just have to read all the tutorials and you will be able to integrate all these kind of projects in your Tinkercad. Okay, so this will be some kind of like a starter, or you can say kickstart session. Okay, so I hope you all know the programming and you all know the basic of Arduino, what Arduino is, what is microcontroller, what is sensor, and what is actuator. Like all the peoples where they stuck is the programming part, how to program the Arduino. So today we will learn some syntax related to the programming of Arduino that is very similar to C and C++. Just you have to remember all the syntax, then you will be able to integrate any kind of sensors, any kind of actuator with your Arduino. So before starting this programming part, just I want to like interact with you, like why you are doing this hackathon and why you are doing this Arduino wala hackathon. Can anyone speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Ankit. So
Yeah.
I'm Govind from Jaipur, Rajasthan. First of all, my main reason to enroll in this Arduino hackathon is that I always like to learn about Arduino, and I'm always passionate how these things work. And second is, in my BTech, I'm also currently doing a Arduino project. So by taking this hackathon, it will help me in making better projects, as well as if I win, then some of the materials which I actually need in my project is also I'm going to be used there. So it's actually many things which is going to be very useful from this hackathon. That's it. Your voice is not audible.
Suppose you are the winner of this hackathon. So which kind of components you will be needing?
Like the first of all, it's Node MCU, that
Okay.
Wi-Fi part, and the Android Arduino, which is, as you are told, that at Mega 328P
Okay. Anything else?
development board. Raspberry Pi, it's actually costly, but if this program provides, then it will be amazing for me.
Okay, great, man. Anyone else? Like, why you have chosen the Arduino hackathon? Why you are interested in this part?
Actually, I want to learn about IoT devices and how actually you can use hardware and build something with a combination with programming. That is why I'm enrolled in this hackathon.
Anyone else?
I also wanted to learn about IoT and know how actually the Arduino and things, all this embedded computing works.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, great. Yeah, going. So,
Uh,
yeah,
so
want
Ankit,
to,
I have only one doubt. You
yeah,
told that Arduino is actually a development board, and there is a small part at Mega 328P that is microcontroller. So
yeah, yeah.
is also termed as microprocessor?
No, no, like microcontroller and microprocessor is different things. Like having same functionality, but like microprocessor is used in computers. Okay, just like very teeny chips that is used in computers and like mobiles, and microcontroller that is used in like embedded system and some kind of development boards or automation devices. So like microcontroller have some kind of bigger size than the micro processor. These are some basic difference. You can just Google it, like what is the difference between microprocessor and controller. But like agenda is same. Both are used to interact with different components like sensors and actuators. So suppose
Yeah.
you have some kind of processor in your computer, like i3 processor. So what this processor will be doing? Like this processor will be doing some kind of interaction with your keyboards and your mouse and your something. It will be displaying some kind of graphics in your computer. So like microprocessor or microcontroller is just like a bye, and the main work is what have to interact with different components so that it can decide accordingly what we have to do and not. Okay. So what I want to say and why I have asked this question about what is why you are going to start with the Arduino. So like when you start your college life, okay, and I am supposing that 80% of you are from BTech. So when you don't have any kind of a skill set, so Arduino and like robotics, or you can say IoT, is the easiest way to gain any kind of skills on you. Okay, so suppose you want to some kind of product developer in just a 1 or 2 week. So you can easily learn Arduino, IoT, etc. And like when you are working on the IoT part, suppose you are working on some kind of IoT project, then you will be also requiring some kind of knowledge of app development, web development, cloud computing, etc. So in future, your interest will be also going towards the app development, cloud computing, and the web development, etc. So like suppose you have decided to go through the like this roadmap, like starting with the Arduino, then IoT, then going through the Android part, web development part, cloud computing part. So this is a great way to enhance your skills as a developer. And like my journey was started from like this Arduino only. When I have joined my offline BTech college in 2019, then I did not know about any technologies, like which type of technologies are available in our world. So I have started with the IoT part and the Arduino part. And when I was engaged in projects in the Arduino and the IoT, then I I am I will be needing some kind of backends, some kind of app development, some kind of web development skills. Then I have started learning these concepts also, like Android development, app development, cloud computing, etc. And now, like today, I know IoT, robotics, I know app development, I know web development, I know cloud computing. So what is like this is a diversity of IoT. IoT is not just a small thing, like just a Arduino thing, just a sensor thing. This is a like combination of Android development, app development, IoT development, etc. So if you want to be a good product developer in IoT, then you have to learn app development, web development, cloud computing, all these things. So in future, surely you are going to be learn all these concepts step by step. So all the best, all of you, that you have chosen the right way to enhance your skills by choosing the Arduino. Uh, because in like suppose you are a beginner in Arduino, then in next 1 to 2 weeks you will be more friendly with the Arduino as well as the IoT part. Like what is IoT? IoT is just something automation, but that automation will be controlled by the internet or someone which is not a part of your network. So it will be part of your network only by the internet. So suppose I have a device in my computer, sorry, I have a device in my room, in my college hostel room, okay, and then you want to control that device from your hostel room, and we are in another city. So IoT is a technology by which these two devices and two people can be connected to each other by the internet. Okay, so just like a advanced concept of robotics, it is IoT, and you will be going to learn all these concepts in future as well. So now let's start the today's session. Like what is programming, and how to program a Arduino. This is the main agenda of today's session. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you confirm me, is it visible to you or not? Hey, Manish is here. So guys, just a small intro about what is Arduino. So Arduino is a development board. Just these type of boards are called as Arduino board. These are the special boards designed by Arduino company. Arduino is a Italy-based company which designs some kind of development boards for the students and the for developers community, so that they can integrate different kind of sensors and actuator with this development board. So in this development board, there are too many type of components that are used to develop this development board. And why this board is set to a development board? Because this board is ready to use to do any kind of automation development. You just have to integrate the sensor and the actuator, and then it will be ready for the use. So in this Arduino development board, one microcontroller is used. So what is microcontroller? So microcontroller is just like a small, low-cost and self-contained computer present in the single integrated circuit. Okay, so they can be heavily used in automatic controlled electronic devices such as cell phone, cameras, microwave ovens, and washing machines. So where you see the automation, then surely there will be some kind of microcontroller which will be controlling all the automation part. So what is like another part is Arduino have a microcontroller, and Arduino is a open source board. Okay, open source development board. Open source development board means you can design your own development board just similar to Arduino. Arduino company has released all the source code for their development boards. Like what will be the designs of the development board, what will be the RAR file, so that you can just make a copy. So that's why there are too many type of development boards which are similar to Arduino boards which are present in our market. They are the just a copy of that Arduino board, and that copy will be like in pricing, price will be cheaper than the original Arduino board, but functionality will be same. Then in the Arduino development board, we are going to we are going to traverse through some kind of important components that are used to develop this development board. So first one is Atmega 3288P. So Atmega 3288P is the brain, or you can say like main component of Arduino development board, which is the microcontroller. So what is microcontroller? Microcontroller is just like a teeny computer that are used to control the sensors and actuators, and we can program that microcontroller according to our needs. So how you can program this microcontroller at Mega 328P? So for this, we use another kind of IC that is known as Mega 16U2. So Mega 16U2 is used to program this microcontroller at Mega 328P. Then we have two kind of jack in our development board, Arduino development board. First one is USB port and second one is barrel jack. So like from barrel jack, what you can do, you can supply some kind of voltages and current to this development board, so that you can use this development board in your production ready environment. And USB port is used for two purposes. First purpose is what? Suppose you want to supply a power supply, a voltage to this development board, then you can also supply that power through this USB port, as well as second functionality is what you can program this Arduino development board through your laptop or computer via a USB cable, and this USB port will be used for that purpose. Then there is a inbuilt voltage regulator that is used in Arduino development board. So what is the use of this inbuilt voltage regulator? So what happens in Arduino, you can you can give the output voltage in the range of 7 to 9 volt from this barrel jet. Okay, but the operating voltage of this microcontroller in this development board is 5 volt. So this this inbuilt voltage regulator is used so that like it can be worked as a some kind of voltage reducer device, or voltage reducer circuit. So what it can do, you can, what you are going to apply the voltage through the barrel job, that does not like affect the what the voltage this inbuilt voltage regulator is going to transfer to this IC or this development board. So what will it will be doing? Suppose you are giving the 7 volt. Suppose you are giving the 8 volt. Suppose you are giving the 12 volt. It will be doing what? It will be converting that 7 volts, that 8 volt, that 12 volt into the 5 volt. So just it will be like limiting the voltage, like what kind of voltage can be used by this microcontroller. Then another one is this reset button. Suppose anytime, suppose anytime you want to restart your development board. So what you can do, what you have options. So first one is reset button. Just pressing a reset button, what will happen? Your program will start from the starting. Your program will restart, and all the functionality will be starting from the scratch. Then there is a, for this functionality, for resetting the Arduino, you can also use this reset pin. Okay, so these are called as power pins: 3.3 volt, 5 volt, ground, and Vin. So suppose you want to withdraw some kind of power from the Arduino. Suppose you want to you want some power so that you can connect your sensors. Suppose you want 3.3 volt. So in this way, what you can say, you can add one wire to 3.3 volt and another wire to ground, and it will throw 3.3 volt. Just like this, you can also like withdraw 5 volt from the Arduino. And suppose you just want to supply the voltage to the Arduino development board, not from this USB port and the barrel jack. So what you can do, you can use this Vin pin. So Vin pin is used to receive the power from the external battery sources. Then these pins are known as digital pins, and digital pins are used to connect the digital sensors with the Arduino development board, and these are called RX and TX pin. And what is RX and TX pins? So you have heard about Wi-Fi communication, Bluetooth communication. How many of you have heard about the Wi-Fi communication and Bluetooth communication? Can you give me the example of one any kind of this communications?
So neckbands use that Bluetooth connection.
Yeah. So neckbands uses the Bluetooth communication. So what happens in Bluetooth communication? There is a RX and TX protocols. So for these protocols, you can use this 0 and 1 pin. Suppose you want to connect a Bluetooth module or Bluetooth chip with this Arduino development board, then which pins you are going to be used? 0 and 1. Okay. Then these are called the PWM pins, and to identify the PWM pins, what is the symbol? You can just see this tilt symbol. Okay, so these tilt symbol pins are the special pins. These are known as PWM pins. You know about pulse width modulation pin. This is just like a, you can say, uh, analog type of pins, and these are the analog pins in Arduino A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5. So like I have supposed that you know about what is digital and what is analog. You know what is digital and what is analog. What is digital signal? What is analog signal? What is digital
Yes.
sensor? What is analog sensor?
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, can anyone tell me?
Yeah. So digital sensors are those sensors which gives results in first of all in digital format, like in a
What kind of digital
particular
form?
discrete, in a discrete levels, like suppose the value of temperature is 33.5 degrees Celsius. So a digital sensor will give us if the we can say if the discrete values are 2 degrees of each value. So the discrete sensor will give us output as 33 degrees Celsius as round off. So it will just give us the discrete values, not the continuous values. On the other hand, the analog sensors are those sensors which can able to collect all the values in a continuous way. And the example of analog signals are the old emitters which television mechanical mechanics use.
I think digital sensors are the sensors that give out the value in binary, zeros and ones. And analog like microphones that sense the sound and gives out some voltage. That's analog.
Yeah, great. So, what you know in electronics, what happens? Signal is just type of a voltage. Okay. Suppose there are two cases. Okay. Suppose in first case you are getting some voltage, and in another case you are not getting any kind of voltage. So first state can be treated as a 1, and second case can be treated as a 0. So 1 means you are getting some voltage, and 0 is something like you are not getting any voltage. So what happens in digital sensors? Digital sensors will only tell you about you are getting any kind of values or not. Okay, you are getting any kind of voltages or not. But in analog sensors, what will happen, it will indicate you like you are getting any kind of values or not, plus what is the magnitude of that value, what is the actual magnitude of that value. Okay, suppose I have a PIR sensor. You know about PIR sensor? In today's class you have learned about the PIR sensor by the Manish. Okay, so what PIR sensor does, it can only detect any changes in the environment. Okay, I am not showing any slide for now, just see me, okay, in my camera. So what is PIR sensor? So PIR sensor can only detect whether any movements, any kind of disturbance is being happened or not. Okay, suppose if any kind of disturbance is happened, then it will be giving you the 1 or the 5 volt. And suppose if there is no kind of any changes in the environment or the disturbance, then it will be giving you the 0 volt. So it will be not showing that how the value is changing. So this kind of sensor is known as a digital sensor. But in analog sensors, what will be happening, suppose you are going to measure the temperature of this room, the room where you are studying, the room where you are seeing this tutorial. So in that case, what will happen, it will show the actual data, like what is the temperature, and that data can be fluctuated between two ranges. Suppose now our temperature is, the temperature of our room is 32 degrees Celsius, and 1 hour later the temperature will be 35 degrees Celsius. So like values can be changed. Value can be between the two ranges. Suppose at any time temperature will be around 21 degrees Celsius. So these type of sensors which can changes their value in between the two ranges is known as a analog sensor. Okay. So can you say me like can you tell me about is ultrasonic sensor is a digital sensor or analog sensor?
Analog, I guess, because it says what distance of.
Okay. Anyone else?
Analog sensor, I think.
Okay. Analog sensor, but you all are wrong. Actually, the sensor what we are going to use, like ultrasonic sensor SC04, is a digital kind of sensor. Okay. So why that sensor is digital kind of sensor? You just have to research on that part. Okay, and then you will get like why that sensor is a digital. This is just like a twist uh, in that sensor. That's why I have asked about that ultrasonic sensor. So like we have covered about the Arduino, the basics components used in Arduino development. Now what we have to do, we have to do the programming part. Okay, so just see, there are some kind of syntax, some kind of methods, just you have to learn. So you know what is variable? Am I
Yes.
audible to you? So how many of
Yes,
you
sir.
know about the variable? What is variable? You can unmute yourself because I can't see your chat during the presentation.
Yeah, read about variables, Ankit.
Yeah. So variable is nothing, just a kind of a container, just kind of a container where we can store some kind of data. Okay. So like variable is a name of that container. Okay. So suppose you want to store some kind of data in your Arduino. So how you can define the variable? How you can define the variable? So there is some kind of syntax for that. Just you have to write the data type of that variable and the name of that variable. Okay. And another syntax is suppose uh, like by using this syntax, what will happen? It will create the memory block in your RAM. And suppose you want to store some data in that variable at a time of initialization, then you just have to equate that value with the equal to operator. So this is the like basic in every programming language. And in Python, I think we don't use this data type part. We just write the name of variable and then assign the value. But in C and C++, what we do, we just write the data type of the variable and the name of the variable, and then after we can use that variable in our program. So there can be a different kind of data types of variables. Suppose we are storing the integer value in our variable. So here data type is int. Suppose you want to store some kind of character, then data type will be char. Suppose you want to store some kind of string, data kind of will be string. Suppose you want to store information in that form of array, then in that case the data type will be array. So you can explore different kind of data types that are available for making the variables. So what is variable? Variable is just like a name of the container where we store the data, and like how we can initialize the variable, how we can assign the that container to our program, to the our RAM. So this is the syntax. Any problem? Any problem in syntax?
No, Ankit.
No.
Suppose I have a question. Um, suppose I want to store the uh, status of light in my room. Okay, is my room, is my light is on or off? Okay, and you can store in the form of true and false in the boolean form. So like what kind of data type you can use for this kind of variable?
Boolean data type.
Yeah, so you can explore all these data types. So I think variable is short for all of you. Okay, then another one is pin mode. Okay, pin mode is a method which is used in Arduino programming. Okay, so what pin mode do? So I have talked to you like earlier. These 0 to 13 number pins are the digital pins. You know, these are called as digital pins. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
And these digital pins can be act act as a input as well as output. Okay, that means suppose you are connecting any sensor with these pins, then in that case these digital pins will be acting as an input pin.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Ankit, I
Yeah.
think your voice is breaking continuously. So if you stop
Okay.
your camera, then you will get better bandwidth. Yeah,
Hello
thanks.
now.
Yeah, it's now improved.
Okay, so what we are saying, pin number 0 to pin number 13 is known as a digital pins. Okay, and these digital pins can be used for input as well as output purposes. Okay, suppose let's see here, I have connected this PIR sensor with my Arduino. Okay, through the pin number 13, and what will happen, pin number 13 will be acting as an input pin because this sensor will be giving some data to the Arduino, case number one. But in the another case, what we are doing, we are connecting the LED pin with the pin number 13. Okay, so in this case what will be doing, this Arduino will be transferring some kind of voltages and current through this pin. So in that case, pin number 13 will be acting as an output pin, and in this case, pin number 13 is acting as an input pin. So what we have noticed, like digital pins can be used as an input pin as well as an output pin. So how you can decide on your program, how we can decide on our program, how Arduino can identify in their program. So which pin can be used as an input or output. So this pin mode method is used. Okay. So like suppose I am writing here pin mode. First parameter is 13 and second parameter is output. Means this 13 number pin, this 13 number pin is acting as an output pin. Example number one. And suppose we are writing like pin number 13 and output. So in that case, pin number 13 is acting as an input pin. So this is like, this method is used to identify which digital pins is used for what purposes, that is used to be for input or output. Okay, then next method is digital read. Okay, so suppose your digital pin is connected with any kind of digital sensor. Okay, and you want to read some kind of data or some kind of signals from that sensor, then this digital read method is used for that purpose only. Okay, so what is like syntax, just you have to write the digital read and the pin number from which you have to read the signal. Okay, so here I am using the PIR sensor, and PIR sensor is a digital type, and this PIR sensor is connected to pin number 13, as you can see here. So how I can read the signals from this PIR sensor? So what I will do, I will be just writing this line of code in our program, digital read and 13 as a parameter, because I am using the 13 number pin. Any doubt, digital read? Hello.
Yes, Ankit.
Any doubt in digital read?
No, no, Ankit. It's
Okay.
clear. Yeah,
Then,
actually, one doubt. It
yeah,
returns nothing. There's something returns, na?
yeah,
Yeah. So
returns
what
now.
is it by high
It
or
returns,
low?
yeah, it returns high or low. Okay. Suppose your signal is not giving any signal to this Arduino. Then in that case, it will be giving you the low. Low means 0 volt. Okay. Low means 0 volt, and like suppose this digital sensor is giving you some kind of signal of voltage. In that case, it will be returning you the high, or you can say 5 volt. Okay.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
previous, yeah, in the previous pin mode function, it was returning nothing, right?
Because pin mode only, like what is the use case of pin mode? Pin mode is just used to set the mode of any digital pin. Okay. But here we are not setting any the mode of digital pin. We are just getting the values, getting the sensors data, getting the signals from the this sensor using this method. Okay, digital read. Okay, suppose 1 minute. Can I go back? Yeah, you can see here. Pin mode is just used to configure the specified pin. Okay, either it will behave as an input or output. Okay, but this pin, this 1 minute, this digital read is used to detect the digital values, to detect the digital signals through the digital input pins. Okay, I hope it will be clear for you.
Yeah,
We can
got it.
proceed for digital write. Okay, so suppose you want to give some kind of voltages, some kind you want to give some kind of current to any external devices through your Arduino board. Okay, programmatically, then what you can use any kind of digital pins, and for that purpose you have to use this method, digital write. Okay, so in this digital write method there are two parameters. First one is pin number, from which pin you want to withdraw the current, and second parameter is the value. it, like either you want to withdraw 5 volt, or either you want to withdraw the 0 volt. Either you want to withdraw a high voltage, or either you want to withdraw a low voltage. So in the programming of the Arduino, whenever you see the high means 5 volt, and the low means 0 volt. Okay, so this is the syntax. Suppose you want to glow this LED by using this Arduino programmatically. So what you can do, first you have to set this pin number 13 as a output pin. For that, what you can use the pin mode method. So you will be setting like pin mode, pin number 13 as output. Then in the second line of code, what you are going to write, digital write pin number 13 as a high. So what will happen, pin number 13 will be acting as a acting as a battery, or acting as a, like it will be transferring 5 volt to the external device. Okay, I hope it will be clear for you. Digital write.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that pin 13 transmits whole 5 volt or just 3.3 volts?
no, 5 volt. 5 volt. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. From here you can withdraw 3.3 volt. Okay, but but this pin can't be controlled through program. Okay, these are like general pins for getting the voltages from the Arduino. But suppose you want to control any like changes in the voltage through the programmatically, then you have to use this uh, uh, either this digital pins or this analog pin. Okay, then just like a digital read, we one
Sir,
digital,
in case
yeah.
of like low, what will it provide? Like current 0 volt, or
In the case
case
of
of
low,
low
it will provide 0 volt. Na?
0
Bulb
volt?
will be off. Bulb will be off. Okay,
Okay.
and here we are providing high, means 5 volt. That's why this bulb is glowing. Okay,
Okay, okay, 0 1 type is like.
Yeah. Then we have analog read. You have studied about digital read. So like suppose you want to read analog type of sensors value. So you have to use this kind of pins A0 to A5. Okay, these are the analog input pins, and for that you will be using the analog read method. Okay, just you have to pass the pin number as a parameter, and it will return you the reading from 0 to 1023, in which 0 is the 0 volt and 1023 is the 5 volt. Suppose you are getting the value between these 0 and 1023, so you can calculate accordingly. Suppose you are getting around 512 reading from this analog read method, so you can guess like voltage will be around 2.5 volt. So you can calculate accordingly what will be the actual voltage we are getting through this reading. Okay, so analog read will be only giving you the reading between the 0 and 1023, where 0 is the 0 volt and 1023 is the 5 volt. Suppose you are getting the 0 reading, means you are getting the 0 volt, and suppose you are getting the 1023 as a reading, then you are getting the 5 volt. And suppose you are getting the number between these 0 and 1023, then you are getting the number between the 0 and 5 volt. So this will be clear to you also. I can proceed, Petra. So this is a analog, right?
Why it was A0?
A0. Okay, so these are the nomenclature of these pins. Okay, suppose you are using the digital pins. Okay, so you can either write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, or D1 D2 D3 D4 D5. Okay, for digital pins. And for analog pins, you have to write A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5. These are the nomenclature to identify analog type of pins and digital type of pins. Okay, for analog we just A as a prefix. Okay, and for digital we can use D as a prefix, as well as we can ignore the prefix part for the digital pins. So this is just like a pin number A0. A0 means this pin, A1 means this pin, A2 means this pin, A3 means this pin, A4 means this pin, A5 means this pin. I hope it will be clear to you.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, just like a digital write, it is an analog write. Okay, so through analog write, what you can say, like what you can do, you can just withdraw a current between the 0 and 5 volt through the Arduino, and for that purpose the special digital input pin will be using. And which digital input pin you will be using? These like PWM pins, like the pins where we have tilde symbol. Okay, so there are there are 6 PWM pins present in the Arduino board: 11, 10, 9, 6, and 5. So this pin can be act as a digital output pin whenever you want, as an analog light or like analog type of value. Suppose you want, suppose there are two type of scenarios. Okay, just I want to get answer from your side. In first scenario, what I want to do, I have to just glow a bulb. Okay, and in second scenario, what I have to do, I have to control the brightness of that bulb. Okay, so what will be happening? In first scenario, I can use a digital pin. So what digital pin will be doing? Either it will be like turn off the light or turn on the light. But in the second case, I have to use analog pin, because analog output pin, because I have to control the brightness. As the magnitude I will be transferring through this LED, the brightness will be changing. So accordingly, you just have to decide like which type of pins you have to use in your project. So like suppose you want analog type of voltage from the Arduino. for your like a sensor for your actuator, then you have to use this analog write method. And for this method, you have to use this kind of PWM pins 11, 10, 6, 5, and 3. So like PWM pins are the special type of digital input output pins that can be act as a analog output pin. And what are the like symbol, how you can identify that PWM pins? So these tilde symbols are the representation or some kind of signs for identify this PWM pins. Okay, any problem in PWM pins?
So basically, we can say that PWM pins are analog output.
Analog output pins.
Okay.
Like these analog pins are only known as analog input pin. Okay, but these like 0 to 15 0 to 13 number pins are known as digital input output pins. Means same pin can be act as an input as well as output. And in that 13 pins there are 6 type of special pins which are known as PWM pins, which can act as an analog output pin. This is a funda behind this PWM pin. Okay,
Yeah.
then
Okay.
can anyone tell me about how many methods we have studied till now?
6.
5
uh,
methods.
okay, can tell me one by one?
I guess
First is
it's
pin
6.
mode.
Okay, for what purpose we use pin mode?
It is used to decide whether the pin is used as an input or as an output.
Okay, which pins, digital pins or analog pin?
It's digital input output pins.
Because confusion is in digital input output pin only, because analog pin is only be working as a input pin,
Input.
you know. Okay, then another method.
Digital read
Okay, distality is used for.
is used to take the our input from the digital
Sensor.
input output pins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
digital input output pins from the sensor, you can say. And digital write pin.
Yeah, it's used to give some values to the give some output value. Like if we want to turn on the light, then we just have to tell which pin we want high or low value.
Okay, okay. And then another method.
Analog read.
Okay, what is the use case?
Yeah, its use is to read the analog values from analog input pins.
Okay, analog input pins. And another method.
It's analog write, and
Okay,
its value is its use is to give some output to the analogs. Uh, give some output in analog range, like from 0 to some kind of particular range. Like in this example, we have that value 255, and it
okay,
is
okay,
only
great.
used by PWM pins.
Okay, so you can explore all these pins in details by using the documentation. Just have to write what is PWM pin, what is digital input output pin, what is digital read function in the Google, and like you will be getting some kind of detailed explanation. Okay, so we have a like short time. Okay, so like we are going to only like taking a like short intro about all these things. Okay, and all these methods. So what is our next step? You know what is variable, you know how to
Excuse me.
use these methods. Yeah, anyone?
Can this analog pin like a PWM pin be used as digital pin, input pin?
Yeah, but not simultaneously.
Okay.
Let's see, PWM pin is a digital input output pin. Okay, you know. And you also know this PWM pin is a special type of digital input output pin. That means you can use as a digital input, you can use as a digital output, and you can use as an analog output. Okay, this is the logic behind why is special.
And analog
But you,
always, yeah.
yeah, but you can't simultaneously use both three features or both two features. Either you have to use as an input, either you have to use as an output. Okay.
And analog pin are always output pin.
Yeah, these just see where is PPT. These pins A0 to A5 are only the input pin, only the analog input pin. Got it? That's why we are using the PWM pin for the analog output. So how many of you are familiar with the Tinkercad? Have you set up any project on the Tinkercad? Manish, are you there? Hello, Manish.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, they know about the Tinkercad, how to set up a project.
yeah. I have little bit explained about Tinkercad.
Okay, okay.
You
So
can,
yeah, I
if you
can
can
just,
explain by taking the Arduino.
okay, okay. So guys, what we are going to do, just we are going to learn the flow of the program, how the flow of Arduino program works in the Arduino programming, and after this flow, we will be ending the today's tutorial. And for next for next tutorials and for next learning process, I will be sharing some kind of documentation, easiest documentation available on internet. Okay, so you can just integrate all these sensors and actuator with the Arduino board for your hackathon. So suppose I am creating a circuit here. Okay, create new circuit. I think I have having oh no, I'm using my mobile internet. Okay, that's why signal is weak. So you can see Tinkercad interface look like something like this. So here we have various type of components, electronic components to use. And for our project, what we are going to use for our first project, what we are going to use, we are going to use Arduino board. Okay, so I'm just typing here Arduino, and it is showing Arduino Uno R3. Okay, so Arduino board have different kind of models. Okay, and we are using Arduino Uno, that means board. So you can just type Arduino on the internet. Okay, so it will be showing different kind of Arduino boards available in the market. You can see Arduino Uno, Arduino Nano. Okay, so these are some same functionality with different configuration it is. So I am using Arduino board, and what I have to do, I have to take a LED. So I am taking a LED, just a simple LED, and wires. Okay, so I don't have to take a wire. I can just connect this LED with the Arduino through the mouse itself. Okay, so what I am doing, what I have to do first of all. Okay, what our project is, I have to glow this LED through this Arduino. So what I can do, anyone? My
Yes.
question is,
Hello.
you have to glow this LED through this Arduino. How you can glow this LED?
Just connecting digital pins, one in ground and one another one is.
And use the resistor for that.
Okay,
Yeah, one of the ways we can connect positive terminal to 3.3 volts and another to the ground. And this is the way by which we don't need to program our Arduino.
okay,
And if we want to use that uh, input output pins, digital input output pins, then we have to program it accordingly.
okay. So suppose anyone is saying that you just have to glow a LED from the Arduino board. So you have two options. One is from these pins, power pins, and through the digital pins. Okay, And suppose and another counter question is what, you have to glow a LED for 2 seconds, and you have to turn off that LED for next 1 second. Then you have to glow LED for 2 seconds. Then you have to turn off that LED for 1 second. Then you have to glow that LED for 2 seconds. Then you have to turn off that LED for 1 second, and you have to continue infinitely. So what you can do? You have to use a digital pin or this power pin. In that case,
We have to use digital pins.
you have to use digital pins because if you are using these power pins, then you can't control the voltages of through this pin programmatically, I hope it will be clear to you.
Yes.
Okay, so what is our first project? Okay, we are going to make a Diwali lights. Tim, 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 tim. You know.
Yes.
Okay, I hope you all celebrate Diwali. Okay, and in Diwali, what we use for decoration, the light. So light is that type of light which glow and turn off, then glow, then turn off. Okay, disco light type. So how you can build that type of light by your own using the Arduino and the LED? So what we are going to do, we will be taking a resistance from where I can take resistance here. Okay, and you know what is resistance? What is the use of resistance? I hope you know.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so I am just giving it the unit as a ohm and the value as a 220 ohm. So I am using 220 ohm resistance. Okay, so you will be thinking like, why I am using 220 ohm resistance? Because like 220 ohm resistance can be used with this LED, so that LED can't get fused during the operation. And how to decide unit, how to decide the value of resistance? So you can use simply the Ohm's law. Okay, you can usually use Weaver our IR formula for this purpose. And suppose you want to tutorial on this, you can just type on YouTube how to find the required resistance value in any circuit. So you will be getting some kind of tutorials. It will be helpful for you. So I am using 20 ohm because I'm not using this kind of combination first time. I have used like 20 times, 30 times in my project. So that's why I have remembered this. Like suppose you are using this LED with 5 volt, then you have to use 220 ohm. Okay. Then I am using here a wire so that I can connect this ground pin with this LED. Then I think connection is ready. Ground is connected to cathode, and anode is connected to pin number 13. Okay, so suppose let's come to coding part. Okay, so through Tinker code we can do three type of codings, like block codings. Okay, you just have to copy, drag and drop. Second is block and text, and third one is text. Okay, so we are going to use only text. Okay, because little boys, little children uses that kind of coding, like blocks coding. So we are going to use text type of coding. Okay, and for text type of coding, we are going to use a language which is very similar to C++, and this is the language which we are going to use for this programming. You can see here, you can see there are two type of functions. One is void setup, second one is void loop. Okay, so you know about you have used int main, void main, etc in your C++ projects, C++ code. Anyone from C++ background?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the use of this method? What is the use of this method? Okay, So we will be understanding this flow, like how program works on the Arduino. Okay, how Arduino understand the programming. Okay, so what happens, there are two type of, like, what is programming? Programming is just giving the command, giving the instructions to the any development board, any computer. Okay, so like there are two type of commands. Okay, one command is what, which we use only one time, only single time. Okay, and another command, another operations is what we use repeatedly. Okay, so suppose you are making a smart watch. Okay, like that a smartwatch have a functionality to connect with your mobile through the Bluetooth. So suppose you want to write a code for the connection of the Bluetooth with your mobile. So this code will be running only one times or repeatedly.
Repetitive.
I guess sometime.
Hello?
Yeah, I think
Repeatedly
repeatedly.
or one time?
I thought it should be connected repeatedly.
Okay. So why it should be connected? 1 minute. I am changing my example. Okay. Suppose you have your own Wi-Fi router. Okay, and you have your mobile phone. And suppose you want to connect mobile phone with your router. So there will be some kind of code for connecting the mobile phone with the router internally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That code will be executing only one time or repeatedly, only for connecting,
Yeah,
For
it's
connection, I
not for
think just
communicating,
once.
just once.
For connection,
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, suppose like you want to connect with the router, then you have to write the username and password, then it will be connecting only one time. Then after the connection, continuous communication will be happening between your router and your mobile phone. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so
Continue.
there are two kind of instructions in our Arduino programming. One which will be going to execute only one time, and another is like it can be execute multiple times. Okay, so let's suppose here, you can see what we are using. We are using Arduino and the LED, and in this case pin number 13 is acting as an input pin or output pin.
output pen.
Okay, so you have to declare this by pin mode in your programming. Okay,
Yes.
and what is my next question? You have to declare this pin mode every time or just a one time when
One time.
Arduino starts?
One time.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, that's why we have called this pin mode in this void setup method. Okay, so suppose you want to write some kind of code which will be executing only one time, then you have to write where, in the void setup or void loop?
It should be written in void setup.
In void setup. Okay, and suppose you have some kind of instructions which are going to be repeatedly executed repeatedly, then you have to use void loop. Okay, so what is the flow? Flow is just like simple. Whenever Arduino starts, it will come inside the void setup. Okay, void setup method. So it will be executing line by line. Here we have written the pin mode. Okay, so it will be setting the pin mode for this pin, okay, as output. Then after executing all the lines inside the void setup, it will be coming inside the void loop. Okay, so it will be executing the first line, it will be executing the second line, it will be executing the third line, it will be executing the fourth line. And then after completing the fourth line, it will restart start the executing from the first line. Okay, so first line, second line, third line, fourth line, then फिर से first line, second line, third line, fourth line, then again first line, second line, third line, fourth line, then again first line, second line, third line, fourth line, until and unless you like you don't want to terminate the program, you don't like want to turn off the your Arduino. I hope it is like clear to all of you, like why we use void setup, why use the void loop. Okay, suppose you are making a project in which you want to take the data from the ultrasonic sensors. Okay, so what you are going to do, you have to take the value from the sensors in every seconds, in every few minutes. So you have to write that code in which part, void setup or void loop?
It should be written in void loop.
Void loop. Okay, so
I
can
have a
anyone,
doubt.
yeah, you have a doubt, tell me.
Yeah, there's a button on this development board, that reset button.
Yeah, reset button, this one.
So when the loop function is going on, and if we push that reset button, is that loop is stopped, or the program starts from again from the setup part?
Yeah, when you press the void when you press the reset button na, program will be starting from void setup again, just from starting.
And it will
Okay,
automatically start. I don't have to do anything else, na?
no, you just have to press this reset button, then from the void setup it will be starting the executing the program. Then after completing the void setup, it will be entering into the void loop part, and then it will be repeating in the void loop
Yeah, okay.
until and unless you have turned off the Arduino. Okay, so
What
can
if,
any one of you, yeah,
what if I want to delete the program from the Arduino?
okay, suppose you have deleted the program. How you can delete the program? There is a flash button. Okay, there is a flash button in Arduino. In this Arduino, we don't have a flash button. Okay,
Okay.
but generally you can get a flash button on the Arduino, and there is another way you can also use pin. Okay, there is a kind of pin for flashing the Arduino. So in that case, what will happens? Your program will be null. Okay, your program will be null, just like this. So in that case, no any program will be going to execute in this Arduino. Nothing will be happen. Got it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like 1 minute. Can any one of you uh, can any one of you tell me or like teach me how this program is going to be executed, and what is the like role of every line of code from the line number 1? You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
So first is we will move to the void setup part, and then the first function, that pin mode, is executed, which tells us that what is the particular LED, which is the particular point we want to be used as an output
Okay.
for the LED, and then it will exit from that setup function, and it will move to that loop function.
Okay.
In that loop method, it will move to that digital write. So that digital write is used to tell which particular pin we want to be used, and it will the other after comma we will take whether the particular value should be high or low. So
Okay.
in this case we are using high, so it means that particular pin will have 5-volt power supply.
Okay.
And then we have delay of 1000 milliseconds. So after 1000 milliseconds, the program will wait to complete that 1000 milliseconds, and after that, that digital write LED bulletin, so that digital write function method again executes. In this time, the same pin is turned to low value. so that our LED, which was lightning previously, is now turned off. And after 1000 seconds, so after this line, the again the the Arduino board is going to have a delay of 1000 milliseconds, and repeatedly this process is going to happen. After each 1000 seconds, 1000 milliseconds, the LED will glow as well as turned off.
Okay, so what will be output for this project?
Yeah, so it looks like a disco light. If we put a particular LED light on that 13 pin position, after coding that 13 pin in the digital write and pin mode, so that LED will first of all glows and then turns off. Yeah,
Okay.
as setting.
So how we can how we can increase the speed of this like disco light?
Yeah, we can reduce the delay.
Okay, which delay?
Like in the delay method, we have 1000 milliseconds, so we can reduce it to 500 milliseconds.
Okay, and then
The other delay also, I think, has to be changed. Both delay has to be changed to work in synchronously.
okay, now it's fast. Okay.
Yes.
So like you have you have implemented the pin mode, like digital write. Okay, in the next project, suppose you are using any kind of sensor, then you will be using the digital read and analog read, and void up and void loop. These are the basic of the programming of like Arduino. And like suppose according to your need, suppose you are using the ultrasonic sensor, the PIR sensor, you just have to identify like which type of sensor it is, and accordingly you have to program your code. So you have to read some kind of tutorials, which I will be sharing just after this like ending of this session. So this is the basic intro about the Arduino and how you can program the Arduino. So programming part is very easy. In complex programming, you can also use like if else and all these like syntax that we have in any other programming language like Python as well. So suppose you want like a full detailed explanation of programming language that is used in Arduino. So you can refer Arduino website. Okay, so there will you will be getting the documentation for the programming. Okay, and suppose you want to study in detail what is Arduino, so there will be a lecture. Okay, so there will be lecture by Free Code Camp. Okay, what this Free Code Camp Arduino. You can just search for this. Okay, so you can use these videos if you want detailed course on the Arduino from the scratch. It will cover all the hardware as well as programming aspect. Like you can just like see here like all the concepts like data types, variables, logical operators, control structure, function, built-in functions, library, etc. All these are explained. Okay, so you can take reference for the Arduino. I'm just pasting the link in the comment. And suppose after watching this video, okay, you want some additional kind of tutorial. So what you can do, suppose you want to integrate ultrasonic sensor with the Arduino. So you can just write how to integrate ultrasonic sensor with Arduino, and you will be getting some kind of tutorial. So like you can use instructables.com, okay, how to mechatronics.com, and tutorials point, and there will be last minute in engineers. These are the like very famous website for like Arduinos. Yeah, like all the documentation are very easy in the English. Okay, So you can just learn by step all this part, like what is ultrasonic sensor, what is the specification, how to connect, how it will be working, how to program it is. So accordingly you can use. So you have to study a little bit before the your hackathon. So hackathon will be starting from tomorrow, or like after day tomorrow?
It is from 13th evening.
Okay, from day after tomorrow, no? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you have one day. Okay, so you can complete all these parts. So just first of all, you have to watch a video that I have shared with the Manish. Okay, so Manish, can you please resend that video in the chat section? So that video will be of 15 minutes. Okay, then after that video you have to watch this video, like this one, uh, where, 1 minute, free code camp one. Okay, this one, this 4 hour video, like Arduino course for beginners, like tutor is also an Indian, so like they will know any problem in language. Okay, uh, this will be like general English, Indian English. Then you can use these website instructables, ultrasonic, are like tutorials point, and last minute engineers for specific documentation about any sensors, any actuators, and the Arduino. Okay, so before ending the today's session, just what I want to say you, like you can explore this field, IoT. Okay, like uh, you can't earn too many money from this IoT in college, but like learn you can learn too many concepts, too many technologies when you are going to build any kind of IoT project. You will be needing some kind of knowledge of website development, app development, as well as cloud computing, etc. So explore all these fields after this Arduino and IoT. Okay, just go into the website, go into the app development part, go into the cloud development part, and uh, uh, like all the best to all of you. And like you are participating in this hackathon. Okay, this hackathon by IIT Madras BS degree program, Paradox Saavan. And next year there will be also a hackathon from Paradox team, which is known as Hacko Pitch. Okay, so Hacko Pitch is a grander version. Okay, premium version, so you can also participate in that hackathon. Also, you have heard about a Smart India hackathon. Do you know a Smart India hackathon? What is a Smart India hackathon?
Yes, I recently heard about that.
Okay.
It's starting from 25th. Maybe.
Yeah. So Smart India Hackathon is Asia's biggest hackathon, organized by Ministry of Education, Government of India every year. Okay, every year. And this year I am selected as a finalist for the Smart India Hackathon. My hackathon is starting from 25th August in Kerala. Okay. So there are some people from Kerala in this tutorials, this lecture series as well. Na? In the beginning, I have asked from where you are. So someone have replied that I am from Kerala. So I am coming Kerala in next few days for a hackathon, and my hackathon will be from 25th to 26th. Okay, and as of now, you are learning Arduino. Okay, but for my hackathon, what I am learning the AI, machine learning, and the React Native. So like I know what challenge we face with the hackathon, and this is not my first hackathon. Basically, Smart India hackathon. I have won different type of hackathons in my academics year, like last 2 years, and I have experience of hosting hackathon, organizing hackathon, participating in hackathon. So what I want to say, you don't have too much time to explore this IoT and robotics in detail, but you have enough time to make a project, to make some valuable kind of information from this field. Okay, So you just have to start from the beginning. I have shared you the tutorials. I have shared you the resources, and so I have shared you some the tips and tricks that how you can start and how you can go in future with this like Arduino and IoT part. Okay. So there is a one my question. There is a question from my side in the starting. You have to guess from where I am. Okay. So from where I am, you have four options. You have to just guess. Okay. So I am from Andhra Pradesh. I am from Mumbai. I am from Bihar. I am from Goa. Guess.
Bihar.
From Bihar.
Bihar.
Okay.
Yeah, Bihar.
Okay. So like we will be like. So I hope you have understand why I have why I, let's see you tomorrow in the hackathon. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye, dude. Thanks for
Great
today's
man.
session.
Like
One question, like,
your
how to
yeah,
set up this Tinkercad?
how to set up. Manish,
Just
this is
logging with
your
our
task now.
own email ID or
Manish will help you. You can sign in using Google.
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
Auth.
You can
okay, sir.
sign in easily. Sign in with Gmail account.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Guys, for any further help, you can just search on the Google Ankit Singh IITM. Okay. So I will be there. So you can just message me on LinkedIn for any kind of help in future as well. So we will be like, I hope you all will be winning this hackathon. And from the Geekasram team, winner will be getting the IoT kit. Okay. And why else? In the beginning, I think Govind have Govind have suggested us like what kind of things will be in IoT kit. So like I am announcing, there will be a node MCU, there will be some kind of sensor, there will be some kind of actuators, there will be some kind of displays, etc. So you just have to learn all these Arduino basic concept. You just have to participate in this hackathon, and surely winner will be getting the IoT kit from the Vikas team side. Okay. So all the best, guys. Okay. And
Yeah, thanks, Ankit. Thanks for today's
yeah.
session.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye. Bye, man. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. We will send the recording and all the resources on Telegram. So please join the Telegram channel.
Okay, Manish.
Okay, and please start making your team if you want your members in your team.
Yeah,
Just
sure, dude.
message on Telegram group and ask for anyone if want to join. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, dude.